everyone, here I am in another video, and today I'll make a video that I was extremely excited to do since the beginning of this channel, and I already made a similar video to this one right in the beginning. And if you want to watch it, you're free, but I guess that this one will be much better than the first one, so be here and watch it, okay? So let's start talking about being an INTJ and how I found out my personality and how I deal with that. Being a woman and living in my environment in this country and all. So I'll start saying how I found out. I found out I was an INTJ when I was 13, and back then, I had no idea what MBTI was. I simply took the 16 personalities test. My friend sent me that, and I did it. I remember I had no idea, but I remember I hated the results because I was always the kind of person who has a great appreciation towards uh more joyful personalities. So my favorite personality is ENFP. So I wanted to be more like them. People who are creative, people who don't care about the world and being themselves. And so I have always appreciated people who are extremely extroverted and communicates well and are funny. I wanted to be more like that, but well, I cannot change who I am, and I remember I hated. And I decided to take this test again when I was 16, and that was when I found out I was an INTJ and actually started to understand this personality and learned how to improve my traits, because I think that even though MBTI is a pseudoscience, I think it can help you in your self-development process. And it helped me a lot because through MBTI, you start to learn more about Jung and his ideas. I've even read some of his books. I'm reading one right now, and my God, it's really, really good. I highly recommend you Jung books, and you will start to understand who you were. Of course, there will be differences, and there is a theoretical theory. Okay, theoretical theory. It's more like a theory and not exactly a reality, because it's not a rule for everyone. But it can help you to see the patterns that you fit in and learn how to improve your qualities and overcome your defects, or at least ameliorate them. And that's what I've been trying to do since I found out my personality type. And once I started to understand more about it, see people who share this personality with me, I started to enjoy more who I am and accepting that I cannot change myself, I cannot change my personality, but I can be a good person, understanding how to use the benefits this personality gives me, you know? So that's why I think it's really important to learn your MBTI, and do not be so close minded and so limited to 16 personality types. I don't like that test, but there are many other good tests that I recommend you, and I will let the link on the description, okay? But right now, let's talk about actually being an INTJ, because we have many popular names who are INTJs. And it's quite funny to see how society perceives INTJs, because when it comes to characters, fictional characters, people loves INTJs. When you're watching an INTJ at a film, at a TV show, people loves INTJs. But when we see real life INTJs, people hate us. And some of them kind of deserve this hate, okay? I'm not saying that they don't deserve, because I hate them as well. And so I'm alongside with you because it's not I have this personality type that I'll be being blindsided by other people who share this, because even though we share a personality type, doesn't mean that we share our lives experiences and our terrible choices, you know. But when I see people talking about INTJs in fiction, they actually love this character. Some examples: Batman. He's an INTJ and people loves him, and let me think about somebody else. Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. Um, is a bit hard to remember. But Poirot, I love Poirot. Poirot is quite a lovely one. There are many, many others. Dexter is quite controversial as well. I have to agree. Princess Luna from My Little Pony. I have a video with a lot of INTJ characters, so we can watch it. It's on my YouTube, it's on my TikTok, so go there and watch. I think it's the last short video I posted here, so check it out. But in real life, real life INTJs, they're hated and they deserve this hate. So some examples: Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, the owner of ChatGPT. I never remember his name. So these guys, they're trash, and I have to agree with you. But I have their personality. Doesn't mean that I might like them, okay? But I think that even though there are many crazy ones, INTJs, people who are extremely controversial, people uh who has terrible opinions and ideologies, they all have something in common. And I think that even though not a very INTJ is a mean person, we have this trait in common. There is a difference still in us, you know. But I have to make sure that being a rich INTJ is much better. I have to say that because if you're an INTJ and you're rich, you're a genius. If you're an INTJ and you're poor, you're just a weirdo. That's exactly where I'm in right now. I'm simply a weirdo. As I said, people already asked me if I have Asperger. I don't have, okay? Not a problem with that. If I had, of course I would not mind having it, but that's exactly how people perceive us. They don't understand that not everyone's extremely cheerful, that not everyone's extremely loud and full of personality and extremely extroverted. So they're like, if you're not like that, you have to be honest. For them it's that. Okay, and that's ridiculous, okay? That's ridiculous. But anyway, we have to treat these conditions with more respect, you know, and do not be so close-minded and focused on the stereotypes. Oh my god, I forgot how to say this fucking word. But anyway, but when it comes to INTJs, I think that when you're born rich, no matter what personality you have, it kind of increases the chance of you being successful. But if you're a rich INTJ, you're able to achieve places that are completely out of this world, completely unimaginable. That's why I hate being a poor INTJ, because if I had money, I am sure that I would achieve places completely out of my reality right now. And that's the thing that wanted to explore in this video, because INTJs, they're crazy. I have to agree with you. We're crazy. We're completely crazy. And I know that because I hide many of my traits. I hide many of my ideas. I have many of myself, a lot of parts of myself, because I know that if I were open about it, if I openly share this delusionals traits I have, people would thought I'm crazy, and I would probably be on a clinic right now. I'm sure about it. But ITJs, they need to be like that. And while I was creating, because yeah, I haven't write any script for this video. I created everything in my mind before making this video, and I imagined this whole video before making it. I I was like, how can I say that? I was like, I got to the conclusion that INTJs are only useful if they're being crazy. We need this craziness, you know? We need it. We need it. Because I think that INTJs, they have this uh, trait that kind of gives us the idea that we are able to achieve a completely unachievable idea. So we create something in your minds. We got obsessed over it and we won't stop until we get there. And that's what makes INTJs so badass. You know, you can call them crazy. As I said, I know that many of these popular INTJs in society, they're trash. But I don't think they're trash because they are INTJs. They're trash because they are human beings and human beings fail. Period. Period. They are human beings and they will be trash because human beings are trash. Some of them are worse than others. I have to agree. But anyway, but we cannot deny that they were able to create things that most part of society are not able to. And of course, most of them comes from a place of privilege. But they're doing something. So I hate the owner of ChatGPT. When I found out we share personalities, I was like, no, for God, no, please, Lord, no. But I have to say that he created something innovative, and I know that artificial intelligence exists since the 60s. I study data science, so I'm pretty aware of that. But he made such a system that were able to make it accessible to everyone. So today, everyone uses ChatGPT. Everyone uses it. So even though he was quite controversial in this process because he exploited a lot of people, he was a terrible person. He made it happen. And that's what INTJs are like. They want something, they create something in their minds, and they won't stop until get it done. Another, I don't know if you know this guy, because it's a guy from chemistry, but his name is Mendeleev. He created the periodic table. We call it right there this like that here in Brazil, but it's the table where we have the elements, and he was the one who organized it. Not that he created the elements, he organized this on this table, and we study Kimmeiser through that. He was an INTJ, and he dreamed about the table, because that's it. We are dreamers, but we don't see dreams as a random reality that we connected with while we're sleeping. We see it as a reality that we are going to achieve at any cost, So that's why so many INTJs created so great things. Another INTJ, this girl is my favorite INTJ ever, Hattie Lummer. She was an actress and she created the base to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Also Oppenheimer, quite popular guy because of the movie from 2023, and he was an INTJ, and he was a trash because he was a bad guy, and I don't want to get into this topic right now. Christopher Nolan, he's an INTJ, and that's why I say people will perceive INTJs as crazy people because you're like, I'm going to make it. And people are like, no, it's not a reality to you. It's not for you. It is not able to be achieved. And you're like, I'm going to achieve it because, as I said, we don't see dreams as dreams. We see dreams as a reality that we'll get there. It's already a reality. Once we imagine something, it's already a reality for us. It's not a dream, you know? It's not. We won't stop to get it done. And I think it's beautiful about this personality. And as I said, it's much easier to be like that when you're rich. But every INTJ is like that at some point, you know? And it's quite funny because I will be a bit more open about my craziness, okay? Right here, because this channel is my safe space. So if you think I'm crazy, I don't know you. You don't know me. So anyway, but since I was 13, I had a dream that I will leave this country and be a successful actress, fashion designer, and producer. I never saw that as a dream. I never saw that as something I simply want. I saw that as a reality. I will make it done. And if it wasn't because of depression, I would probably be there right now. Okay? But anyway, I wanted, since I was a kid actually, not exactly 13, but since I was a kid, I was sure that I would leave this country. It wasn't something like, I want to leave this country. No, I was sure that I would. I was sure that I would live abroad and be a successful fashion designer. And since then, I learned how to draw. I learned how to make sketches, and I design clothes. You know, I taught that to myself. And when I was 13, I decided that I didn't want it only to be a fashion designer, but also be an actress and be a producer, a writer, basically a script writer. I wanted that. And I started writing a script at home, screenplays actually. I started to write it. And I have a lot of scripts, a lot of screenplays written in my computer because I was sure that I would. I sent in my first screenplay to Marvel. They declined it and they want me one. But I did it because I was sure that I would be a movie screenplay writer. And I was sure about it. I learned how to dance. I started taking acting classes at home. And I was doing it. Everything there was achievable to me. And my parents, they were like, no, I won't help you with anything. I never said them that I wanted to be that because I knew that they would think I'm crazy because, well, I live in Brazil countryside. Not exactly in Brazil countryside. I live in Bahia countryside. If you know what Bahia is the state from Adriana Lima, Wagner Moura. Many popular people are from here. And I was like, I'm sure that I'll be an actress. I'm sure that I'll produce movies. I'm sure that I will be a fashion designer. I will wear my designers at red carpets. And I'm sure about it. I'm sure. And that's how in INTJ minds happen. Where like I want it and I will do everything I'm able to make it happen, no matter how crazy I sound. You know, no matter how crazy it seems, no matter how unachievable it is, because I never told anyone around me about this because I knew that they were like, girl, this is not for you. The most you can achieve here is to work to the state. If you want to be rich here, you have to work to the state. And I was like, no, I don't want it. I want more. I want more. My favorite Disney princess is Ariel because I always identify myself a lot to her. And she's an ENFP. But even the way I see ENFPs being dreamers are different from INTJs being dreamers. So that's why I say you cannot take this craziness from INTJs. Because if you take this from them, you it's the same of you killing them. Because that's what happened to me. I feel like I'm dead, you know? Because life has been so mean to me that I don't dream anymore. I don't have this crazy in me anymore. And I'm unable to be a useful person because I need this craziness. I need this craziness to be a useful person. I need this craziness to be moving because this craziness is like my gas, you know, is the gas I need to work, to walk, to ride. And if I don't have this gas, I will be stuck, you know? I won't be able to walk. I won't be able to run. So if you see this crazy person with this idea and you see this person giving their best and doing everything they need to make it happen and make it achievable and the reality, don't kill their dreams. Let this person be, because if you do that, this person will simply stop and this person will die. This person will be like a zombie. They'll be like they're alive, they're healthy, but they cannot be in a human being because they need this craziness to move them. And that's what's like being an INTJ, you know? So I see this guy say, okay, I want to go to, I don't know, I want to create a machine that will heal cancer. Let this person with this craziness, even though you're like, no, it doesn't make sense, let them, because they will create something. Maybe they will not achieve exactly what they imagined, but they will turn out to make something even more interesting and useful. So if you see this person working a lot, earning money, studying a lot to create this fucking thing, let them. Because if you take it out of him, if you take it out of them, actually, this person will stop and will give up on life. And in some extreme cases, which that was my, we can even think about taking our lives. So let us be crazy, okay? And as I said, I'm not ignoring the controversial things that many of these guys who are NTJs are saying, because as I said, they're good people, they're mean people in every personality. So you cannot be so close-minded, okay? So for example, Hitler and Jesus has the same personality. So you can see two extremes, okay? So that's it, what I'm trying to say. Hope you enjoyed this video. I loved doing this video. I was thinking about it like the whole week, and I have many ideas for this channel. And see you in the next ones. Bye.